Hey, welcome to Seoul. Today I'm taking you on a 30-minute walk through Insadong, but this isn't a typical walking tour. This is 600 years of Korean history connected through one neighborhood, from obsession with education to surviving colonization. This walk is perfect if you want to understand why Korea is the way it is today and actually care about the stories behind what you see. Then, let's get started! Alright, first thing, this giant brush is the one that you can see. This one is the representative monument in this area. Can you make a guess why? To understand the history beneath, we have to go back 600 years to the Joseon dynasty. Joseon was a strictly hierarchical society with 4 classes. First, Yangban, the upper class. They had all the privileges. Second, Jungin, the middle class with skills like interpreters and doctors. Third was the majority of the population, Pyeongmin, like farmers and merchants, because Joseon was based on agriculture. And last was Cheonmin, like slaves, shamans, and even entertainers. So when you were born Cheonmin, you stayed Cheonmin, except there was this exam called Kwago, the civil service exam, like the university entrance exam today. It was held every 3 years, and only 33 were selected. If you passed this exam, instant class mobility was possible. But the problem was like more than 100,000 people participated, so the competition was extremely high. If you couldn't pass it, you had to wait another 3 years. There's even a record of someone passing at over 90 years old. I think this system is related to Korea's current education fever. Because if you pass this exam, even though it's incredibly tough, your life changes forever, even your descendants' lives. That's why students flooded this neighborhood, because the palaces are nearby. This was the perfect place to prepare. So what do you need for the exam? Right, brushes, papers, and ink. That's why Insadong became Brush Central. I told you about the Joseon dynasty. It lasted from 1392 to 1910. And what happened in 1910? Yes, Japan took over Korea. They colonized us for around 35 years until 1945. So all the palace workers were fired overnight. They had to make a living with what they did. The noble class started selling everything they owned, like ceramics, paintings, and furniture. Palace workers came out and opened shops like restaurants, tea houses, and galleries. That's why Insadong became popular for art galleries, tea houses, and souvenir shops. Now let's take a look at these wooden poles. These were located mainly at the entrance of every village back then. What do you think they do? These are village guardians called Jangseung. Look at their faces. Not exactly friendly, right? At the village entrance, they scare away evil spirits and protect people. This one's male, and it says, Great General under Heaven. This one's female, and it says, Female General of the Underworld. Always a pair. Always male and female. Why? It's related to yin and yang. In Korean, yang. Yin represents female, earth, moon, internal power. And yang represents male, sky, sun, and expanding force. When the sun goes up, the moon goes down. It's the circulation of the universe making everything in harmony. That's why these totem poles are always in pairs. And next to these poles, you can see a wooden structure saying 안녕 인사동. This is a Jeongja village pavilion. Back in the day, this was where everything happened, like town meetings, festivals, and gossip. It's like the village's living room. But now, we don't have Jeongja in urban areas. And that's why we all go to Starbucks instead. Because of that, Starbucks gained so much popularity in Korea. And here's a quick Korean lesson. Jeongja means 3 things. This pavilion, correct character, and sperm. So context is important. If you go down this way, you can get dessert. They offer free samples here. Look at these beautiful packages. I love that. If you go inside, you can see a lot of different kinds of dessert, like Jeongja and yakgwa. They look fancy because they were fancy. Only rich people could afford these because it's made with honey, sesame oil, and rice wine, all expensive ingredients. I can't see the detailed shape here, but usually yakgwa has a flower shape, chrysanthemum. It means longevity and good luck. If you go to the next shop, you'll see yanggeng. Do you know the Korean song Pam Yanggeng by BB? Pam is chestnut, yanggeng is red bean paste jelly. And here, there are lots of different versions with different flavors. Let's move down this way more. Then you can see shops carving personal seals, Dojang. Adults in Korea get these made for official documents, real estate contracts, and bank stuff. It's legally binding when registered with the government. It takes about 30 minutes to make, and the price starts at around 30,000 won. Look at these dazzling Dojang. These cost more than 100,000 won. But it's not just decorative, it's functional. So if you'd like to carve your own dojang, you can check it out. Next spot is one of my favorite places. If you come this way, you can see this beautiful site. This building is special because the person who designed Korea's national flag used to live here. You know the red and blue circle and the four shapes in each corner? That's Korean national flag, taegukgi. Do you remember the yin and yang explanation at the Changseung part? If you do, you can connect that with the red and blue circle in the taegukgi as well. And this is a museum, and it's free. They've got rotating exhibitions. Worth a quick look. And in the middle is the tea house. I'm not gonna go inside today, but whenever I come here, I always get the same thing, 쌍화차. It comes from a medicine called 쌍화탕. It means harmonizing yin-yang energy. Since the tea is also from this medicine, it's helpful to heal your body when you're exhausted, stressed, and overworked. It's made with cinnamon, chestnuts, ginkgo nuts, pine nuts, and jujube, basically a forest in a cup. And back then, people used to put raw egg inside to supplement nutrition. Even I haven't tried that version, I cannot imagine the taste of it. I kind of like the view here today. I feel like I'm recharging myself just with the views. But I cannot hesitate. I have to move to the next spot. And on the way, I found this one. I've been around this place for years, and today's the first day I spotted it. Do you remember the person on the 1001 bill? He's one of the most famous scholars in Korean history. He's Taege Lee-hwang. Taege is his pen name. Lee-hwang is his actual name. He was a teacher of King Seonjo. The king was in his tens when Lee-hwang was around 68 years old. He got worried about the king, so he put all of his knowledge into this book called 성학십도. I guess this is the smaller version of the original. The core philosophy of the book is to govern the world righteously. One must first govern one's own mind righteously. Now let's move to the next spot. You can see brush shops on the main road, and the most famous one is this, Myeongshindang. When Queen Elizabeth came to Korea, she came here. In the Joseon dynasty, Yangban disciplined themselves to write calligraphy. Calligraphy wasn't just about writing well. It was seen as a comprehensive art that revealed a scholar's knowledge, character, and artistic sense. So Yangban devoted their entire lives to practicing calligraphy. That's why the brush was important, not only for the exam, but also for training. Now we have to walk around 2 to 3 minutes to encounter a significant place in modern and contemporary history. And on the way to go there, I spotted this one. Have you seen this kind of restaurant called 감자탕? 감자 actually here is not potato. 감자 has another meaning of pork backbone. So 감자탕 here means pork backbone stew. So you shouldn't be confused with those two. Anyway, in Western history, the early 1910s means a lot because World War I broke out in 1914 and lasted until 1918. After that, turmoil dominated society. That turmoil was similar in Korea as well. Japan started to colonize this country in 1910, and rebellious emotion got bigger. And on March 1st, 1919, something happened here. Back then, a restaurant called Taehwagan stood in this place. 33 Korean leaders met at this restaurant to declare independence from Japan. They knew, 100% knew, they would be arrested and tortured. But their purpose was to make this colonization known to foreign countries. So they had no choice. After they wrote and read the declaration, they shouted, 대한독립 만세. It means long live Korean independence. More than 800 Japanese policemen came to arrest them. And what happened next was remarkable. Demonstrations exploded across the entire country. Over 2 million people, including students, farmers, regular people, just poured into the streets to join this protest. It was recorded as one of the biggest non-violent movements in history. Every time I read this sentence, I get emotional. It just gets me thinking that the peace and development we have right now was based on our ancestors' eagerness to move forward, no matter what happened and what they had to deal with. As you can imagine, a number of people got arrested and brutally killed by Japanese military forces. So this independence movement didn't succeed immediately, but it led to major changes. First, a provisional government was established in Shanghai, organizing scattered independence movements. Second, Japan changed its governance method. Instead of direct military rule, they used more calculated psychological tactics, aware of international media attention. Most of the 33 people didn't live to see independence. Korea gained freedom in 1945, but they started here. As I pass this area, I think real courage is not being scared. It's being terrified and doing it anyway. Alright, let's talk about a lighter topic. You can see ginkgo trees in Korea when you come in autumn. Can you think of the reason why? There are actually 3 pretty logical reasons. First, ginkgo trees are native to Korea, and it's super tough. They can bear all the pollution and bugs. Second, they purify air. They suck up all the car exhaust. Third, they are fire resistant and their pollen doesn't cause allergies. But as you can experience, there's just one tiny problem. Female ginkgo trees drop fruit, and that fruit smells like not that pleasant. But we can only tell which is female and male after 15 years of growth. So Seoul has developed methods to plant only male trees now, but the trees growing nowadays were usually planted years ago. So we have to understand the situation. We are getting close to the final stop, Jogyesa Temple. Now here's something interesting. During the Joseon dynasty, for around 500 years, Buddhism was basically suppressed because Joseon's main ideology was Confucianism, and Buddhism was pushed to the mountains. Monks couldn't even enter Seoul. So why is this temple here in the city center? Because it was built in 1910, the last year of Joseon. It was a statement against Japan to protest. Jogyesa is such a beautiful place, but it's not decorative today. So next time, I'm gonna visit Jogyesa once again and explain the details. So today, we covered a lot of different stories. How Korea survived, how it preserved itself, how it kept going through, just everything. You know, when I first started exploring Insadong, I thought it was just a tourist street. But the more I learned, the more I realized every corner has a story. And if you want to experience this walk with more depth, I run guided tours through Insadong and Jogyesa. Small groups, lots of questions welcome, and real conversations. Links in my profile if you're interested. But whether you come with me or explore on your own, I hope you feel what I feel when I walk these streets. That Korea isn't just a place you visit, it's a place you understand. See you next time!